You're listening to Rise to Your Purpose, a personal and spiritual development podcast for female entrepreneurs with a mission.
We're your hosts, Brandie and Natalie. Hey, Purpose Partners. I'm so glad you're here for this podcast episode. And today's episode is a recording that I did recently inside of our Purpose Partner community, all about helping you create success and explode your team, explode your business, and what those strategies are that you can really begin implementing. And so if you want to also watch this, you can go over to our Purpose Partner community on Facebook and check it out there. But otherwise, enjoy this episode, and may it bless you and help you see that you can create growth and success in your own life and business as you get into alignment and begin building a business that works for you. I've been really reflecting over, and what was it that really helped create success for me and my business, and what have I seen really working for and teams and the clients that I've been working with, and then like my own personal teammates and people that I'm serving and sponsoring. And so wanted to kind of bring that together for you. And just so you know a little bit of background, and if you're new to our community, hello, welcome to Purpose Partners. We're so glad you're here. We love collaborating and connecting with one another through faith and business. And so that's what we're all about, is really bringing in and elevating other Christian women in the network marketing online space, so you can create a business that works for you while keeping Christ at the center and just being in alignment. And so that's what this is about. And you will also be able to catch this on our Rise to Your Purpose podcast. So definitely, if you haven't subscribed to there, go over and check out our podcast. And if you think you might be someone who would be amazing to be a guest on our podcast, please reach out to myself or Brandie, and we would love to connect with you. So today we're talking about sponsoring your way to the top and how we can really set yourself up for success to explode your team. And so when I first got started in network marketing, I was in college. I really had no idea what I was doing. I was trying. I definitely always have had that like willpower essentially and that work ethic, but I didn't have any leadership in my first company that I was working with that was local to me. And a lot of things were local at the time. You know, you had to kind of be local to your people at the time to really make your business work. So I was trying to figure things out on my own. And I also I would say my ambitions for it weren't the best. I was in college and my main focus on it was like, I want to make money. So that's always a great motivator, but it shouldn't be the only motivator. So that was probably why it didn't really work. And then I realized like that wasn't something that brought me joy. The type of products and things, like I didn't really care about them as much. And so I ended up kind of taking some time off. Didn't really do much. And then I was about 3 years into teaching, and you guys have always wanted to be a teacher. I do love teaching. But when I was in my third year, I was so completely burnt out, and I was in a hard environment. I chose to work inner city. I did Teach for America. And so it was like a love-hate relationship at the time. And I was literally thinking I was in a quarter life crisis. I was like, okay, God, like, this is not what I thought. And I really kind of came to the conclusion that even though, yes, teaching was a calling of mine, and I'd never have really thought of it as a job. It's always been, that is my calling. That is something I really felt like God placed in my life from first grade on, and it's never left me. But at the time I was like, God, I don't think that this is what I'm supposed to do for the rest of my life. Like, what am I supposed to do with my life? So I just began really seeking him and praying over that and where he wanted to lead me in life. And I was very open. I looked at maybe going to grad school. I knew that I really loved leadership. I knew I loved all the opportunities I was getting inside my school to be able to coach and lead and serve other adults. And so I started just looking at, how could I use my gifts, use my strengths, use where I'm finding joy, and like, what could I do with that to also possibly bring an income, right? Like that's usually, you still want to try and be profitable and bring an income and potentially change career paths. I wasn't sure what that was going to look like exactly. and then enter, basically after a year of kind of praying and seeking out opportunities, and being open to more of what God has for me. And that's what I want you to do. I want you to be open to more of what God has for you, be open to listening and hearing where he's calling you to, and be okay that it might not be what you exactly expected for your life, right? It doesn't have to follow this exact rigid plan that you have. And so we can have plans, we can have our ideas and our thoughts and, those desires, but the Lord's purpose will prevail. And so if you are operating in collaboration with him, he will reveal those steps to you as you are willing to take actions of faith. And so then came in products into my life. Like I'm sure many of you started out with falling in love with products. And really what got me was seeing the business opportunity and seeing that was how different it was than a lot of other companies I'd seen before. And so that really caught my attention. And I really is when I said yes, and when I say yes to anything, I commit to it and I go all in with it. And so I was seeing and creating success. And one of the things I want to tell you guys is because you hear so often, especially now, there's so much out there about like not bugging your friends and family and everyone talking about how attraction marketing, people will just come to you and you'll be able to, how you'll be able to just, have instant leads and all of these things. And yes, attraction marketing can be super helpful in making it so that you aren't constantly having to reach out to people and cold call and all of those things, because we don't want you to do that. But I do believe that if you have a passion for your business, if you have a desire within your heart and you really know what it is you're doing and what you want to do and where you want to go, like, why would you not tell your friends and family? Why would you not tell those people that you love and are close to you? So for me, I've always been about every business that I have been a part of, any opportunity that comes my way, I vet that opportunity. Like I study it, I research it, I dive into it, I try it and test it out myself. But then as soon as I am seeing the results or I see and catch the vision of what it can be, I immediately am telling my parents. Like I immediately am telling my sister and my friends and those that I think that would truly benefit from it. Now, there of course going to be, you can evaluate your circle that you're in and you're going to know, okay, well, that's not going to be this person. I don't introduce my friends to everything that I do, but I'm saying don't feel like you can't go talk to your friends and family or you're going to be spamming and bugging them. No, you let them know the opportunity you have. You enter that conversation with posture and confidence and clarity, and then you let them make their decision and then you move on. Okay. So what that means is you're not going to stay stuck on those people in your inner circle and feel like that if they don't join you, then it's the end of your business, because it's not. But I am always about, why would you not tell them? And so, and then you want to, when you are wanting to grow a team, when you are wanting to really get and take advantage of those early, you have those bonuses that are usually up for grabs, you have all those things, but you also, like I said, if you have created that vision and you know your why, like for me at the time, my why was I wanted to be able to create extra income because as a teacher, I was making the very low at the bottom of the barrel and is where I was. And there was no room for me to grow. It did not matter how many years of experience I was going to have in teaching. If I stayed at the school that I was at, then I was not going to be able to make any more money. And that was at the low bottom barrel. And so I was stressing out all the time for money because I had loans, all these loans. I had other debt that I was in. I wanted to be able to travel. And I'm like, I have no extra money to do those things. So for me at the time, it was, I wanted that extra income so that I could really loosen the tightness of how rigid my finances were. I was tired. I saw that vision of, I saw our parents, like my husband and my parents, like living paycheck to paycheck. I saw what a struggle it was when they didn't have other opportunities in their life and they had to focus solely on their job. And I did not want that to be. I saw my other teacher friends who were struggling to pay for daycare for their children. And I thought, I would love the opportunity to be a stay-at-home mom. So I started painting that vision, casting out and declaring like what I wanted out of life. And I started then aligning myself with opportunities and with vehicles that were going to get me closer to where I saw myself going, where I wanted to be. And so that was where it really kind of started out for me. And what excited me was being able to help other people do the same. But here's where your business will get stagnant, is if you are not growing your network with people who are in we always talk about your avatar, your target audience. Like this is something really important for you to understand, is because you can grow your network. But if you're just growing them with friends and more friends and more family or mutual friends of friends, and they're not really the people that you can see yourself working with, or they're not really people who are looking for what you have to offer, they're not really people who maybe even want to do anything within, network marketing, online marketing. Like, so then that network is not going to serve you and you're not going to serve them. And so where we get stuck on social media and where people feel fear and lose confidence, it's because you're afraid to go live, or you're afraid to post because you're afraid of what everybody else is going to think or what everybody is going to say when they see your post or when they see your live. And you put all of these thoughts in your head of like, whoa, what is this person going to think or say? And so becomes this comparison trap and this over analytical thinking. And it's because you don't have the right people in front of you. So you really need to you need to optimize your profile. You need to optimize your social media and curate it in a way so that you have the right people in front of you, and you have the people who need what you have and you need what they have. Like you can all be really serving each other in one way or the other and supporting one another in one way or the other. And there are people already looking for what you want. And so now you can show up with more confidence and posturing and authority in the online space and on your social media, because you're bringing something of value to people. So we're not just going to post our products and post all about our company because you guys, everybody out there, that's what's going to get you lost in the noise, is because how many people, if you scroll through, are saying, oh my gosh, I just joined the best opportunity out there. I just joined this amazing company. Well, we all need to believe, if you want to sell your product and you want to be a part of your company, you should have the belief that you have one of the best companies around or the best products around. Like, you need to have that belief, because that's where when you're having those conversations with people, they can sense if there's any lack of belief or confidence in what you have. But you have to realize, saying those things, you guys, then you just sound like everybody else. So you want to start then thinking about, what is it that you have? What is it about you that sets you apart? And here's an example, because I will have people still come to me and ask me, hey, are you still selling sunset? They like remember, right? Or there are people that will referred to me. And I've asked people, yeah, like, what made you, like, I had a customer, we had worked together a few years ago, and she actually has a friend who was purchasing the products, and she came to me. She could have went through this friend and been a referral of this friend, and she came to me, and I said, wow, I'm so like grateful that you came back to me and asked me about it and wanted information. Like, what made you decide to do that? And she goes, because I know you and I know you're consistent, and I know that you'll have the information that I need and will be able to help me to make sure I get the results that I want. And so that's what, like, when you're online, when you're sharing your products, when you're a part of your opportunity, like, what is it that you want people to know about you? What is it that you want people to feel about you and to know and think and feel when they come to your page, when they come to your profile? Okay. And you want to show that, right? And you want people to be able, if you want people to trust you, then that's where that consistency comes in and why that's so important. And you want to have full integrity all the time when you're having conversations with others. You want to always have a system. Like, do you know when someone has a question on something, what you're going to send them? Do you know what it is, that process that you're going to lead them through? So it's very direct, very concise, and it's leading them to meeting those goals that they have for themselves. So that's what you want to know, is like, have the system in place. Another thing is like the clients, right? That Brandie and I work with. There's so many women out there that have, that are talking about coaching and helping you in your network marketing business. But there's something that, right, that we bring to the table that is different than, Sally next door, who's maybe sharing something similar, but it's the way that we train, the way that we teach, the way that we do our one-to-one coaching, the way that we have our strategy calls, like, and truly giving a plan to people. And so you're going to resonate with others, okay, in a way that nobody else can. You have something that is so unique, that is God-given. And when you're collaborating with Christ and you have him in your spirit, right? Now you have his presence in that conversation. Now you have his presence when you're promoting your products or your opportunity. And so now you have that Holy Spirit power working on your behalf and in your favor, right? And that's where the results can come from, right? It's because you're manifesting your relationship with Christ into the physical, right? And so that is what sets you apart, like you being able to brand you and you being able to take what you're learning and put your own spin on it, because people are going to resonate with you and versus somebody else. But if you're just out there just doing a copy and paste message, or you're just sending, and posting all the same things that maybe some other teammate is posting all the time, like then you're just going to start sounding like everybody else that other people are on there scrolling through and seeing too. So that's why it's important. We say like, show your face, find out what it is that makes you unique. How do you want to serve people? How do you want to show up? What's the value that you can bring? Because you do have value that you can bring. And that's what's going to help you then be able to attract those ideal clients to you. So what have we talked about so far? We've talked about, okay, that when you want to create success, you have to have like a system in place, right? We talked about how are you going to have those conversations in Messenger? What information, do you know what that information is you can give those people and where it's at? Then we talked about consistency and how important it is for you to show up. I don't mean that you have to show up every single day, all day, that you have to be glued to your phone all the time, but I mean that people need to see your face, right? And they need to see that you care about what it is you're doing and that you're consistent with it. Because if they're going to join someone, they want to know that they're joining someone who cares. They want to know that they're joining someone who is also in the trenches and going to be able to lead them along the way. And so you're going to be able to build that know, like, and trust factor through that, but do it in a way that's in alignment and that feels good to you and that is also manageable for you, right? You don't need to be everywhere all the time and just have your plate full, because then you're not going to be productive and you're going to just feel like you're just pulling and ripping at the seams. Okay. So you got to make sure you know what those core values are and you're leaving and creating space for each of those in your life. And so then you want to think about, okay, how you can optimize your social media, curate that social media so you have a network growing and blossoming with those people that you know you can serve, and vice versa. You want to then, we talked about how reaching out is not a bad thing. Okay. Reaching out is bad when you have never had a conversation with a person and the very first conversation and message you have is, hey, would you take a look at my products? Or, hey, would you want to be a part of an event I'm doing this week? Or, hey, I'm in part of this amazing opportunity, blah, 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 blah. And it's like a book you wrote. Okay. And I'm not saying that to offend you. I'm saying that because those are things I did at the beginning, like when I didn't know. And so I'm telling you, don't do that. Like I have entered conversations later on with people and I look up and see what our like last conversations were. And I'm like embarrassed by the like long messages that I used to send like 6 years ago. So we're not going to do that, right? We're not going to spam people. We're not going to do that. But you can have a healthy relationship with someone that you have already shown interest, or they've shown interest in other things. You've already had some conversations and you feel like they'd be a great fit to work with, or that they could really benefit from something that you have. Then I think that is wonderful for you to reach out and say, hey, you know what? Like I have loved getting to know you. And just from the small amount of time that we've had, like, I think that I would really enjoy working with you. And I think that this might be something that you would love too. Have no idea, but I'm just super excited. Like, can I send you some information? So you can kind of tailor something like that. But I would encourage you, instead of it just being a message, right? Because they don't know necessarily your tone or anything, like send a voice message, you guys. That's gonna be the best way too, is to collapse the time frame to how close someone can feel to you and how you build that know, like, and trust factor. Send video messages or voice messages to people and they can immediately kind of feel in tune with you. And isn't that really cool? So we have that opportunity, that free service there. You can use that and then get the information that they need. So once you're kind of in that conversation, right, and they're saying yes to you, then, and so asking lots of questions in Messenger, you guys, that's where it's really good. You want to ask questions about what are your goals right now? What are you working towards? Like, so say you have a health product. So what are your current health goals? Or, well, what type of results? So you have a skincare product. What type of results would you like to see? Okay. Or maybe business, like, well, what kind of income goals do you have? Okay. So then they want to know that you have a plan for them. So tell them, yes, you know what? I actually have a plan for you. Let's connect. So then I would encourage you to schedule those calls with people. That's one of the things that we help you focus on with our trainings, and is helping you close your sales. And that's what we do for our team. Like, we help them close. And so we have that system in place, but you want to wait for them, again, just Instead of them having to sift through all the information, what can you connect them to? Can you just get them on a call? Can you set them up into a three-way chat with your upline or a sideline, someone who can also share in that similar, wanting similar results, or can, speak to that similar pain that they're maybe having right now? And what's that solution, right? So creating social proof as quickly as possible. Get them into an ATM group, right? Get them into an event. Let them, the more touches that you can have in a short time frame, then the better off you're going to be. And then one of the things that we've really loved incorporating into our team for our businesses as well has been like having some Zoom calls. So once you have like 3 or 4 interested people, then schedule a Zoom call, and it can be more than that, with you and another teammate who maybe got started with you, or you and your upline, and invite people to that and just be super transparent, because people don't want to sit through a bunch of webinars and hear all the hype and all the fluff. Like that might be good for like a one touch thing, but if they're not making decisions from that, it's because they're still unsettled. They're still not really sure. So the best thing you can do is just get them onto a Zoom with you and some other people, create that social proof, answer those questions, do a screen share, show them what it is, like, hey, this is what it is we have, this is how it works. And even do some of that stuff in like your stories. Today I was saying a teammate, she has something really cool because of one of the perks programs that we have. And so she was able to show like, this is so cool. I'm getting paid and they're paying me to shop with all these extra deals and things like that. So she kind of turned her screen and showed her computer and everything she was able to do. So kind of bring people into your world and show them what it looks like to be a part of that. So I think that I kind of covered everything. When you're wanting to do all these things, and then when I talk about system, then the whole, after you're kind of implementing all these things, you really need to have a good tracking system. So I'm curious, like, do you have a system that where you're tracking your leads, you're tracking your prospects, what that last conversation is that you had with them, when you're going to follow up with them? So there's a lot of tools that you can use. Trello is a really great one to get organized in, and you can move it around. It's so simple. It's one of the things we use in our Rise to Your Purpose program, like giving them you get a template. And one of our clients, of how we helped her time manage, because she was like working her business full time plus a full-time stay-at-home mom, as well as multiple other things that she's doing. So you want to have a schedule in place. You want to time block your day, and it's okay if every day doesn't look the same, right? But you need to know, what are those income producing activities that you need to do, how often you need to do them to get the goal that you're working towards. And then you want to make sure you plug that in. So everybody's going to have a different system that works for them. I've used Trello, I use Excel, I've used Google Calendar, I've used my phone calendar, I've used a paper planner. And then what I find is I like a mixture of things. It just depends. I personally have just kept, because that's what I've done for years. Had Trello been out several years ago, I probably would have just used Trello. So if you're just starting out, Trello probably is going to be the easiest for you. And I love that you can move the blocks around. But Excel has been something really easy that works for me to track all my prospects for everything. And I can have different multiple pages there. It's what I use for my taxes as well. And then I use a notebook when I'm having calls with people, so I can just write down why I'm hearing and listening to them. Brandie likes to type out. And then I have a paper planner more so for like, this is my to-do list of things, but then I time block it out on my actual phone calendar. Like if I were to lose my phone, I don't know what I would do. I'd be lost. So I have everything on my phone, and it comes up like, oh, at 12 o'clock, you're doing this. And I can, at the beginning of my day, I open my phone calendar and see, what am I going to do this day? And every day looks a little bit different. And so you just got to plug it in. And then again, it all goes back to you being consistent with doing those things and having those systems in place. So I hope that was really helpful to you guys. That is really kind of in a nutshell what has made a difference for us in our businesses. And so I hope that you can start implementing those, because anything, right, you do a training like this, you want to learn, right? You got to implement it and you got to take action on it and take that inspired action. And that's kind of why I'm here doing this for you guys right now, because I was getting myself organized. I was kind of reflecting over some things, and I was excited just to be able to take and share with you what I have learned, what I've personally implemented, what has been working for us and our clients and our teammates. And so how you can go and really start implementing this and seeing yourself crush, right? Like the rest of this month April, May, and start bringing people onto your team and then duplicating or replicating that success. And if you need a plan for yourself right now, if you're kind of all over the place, do you feel like you're just struggling with getting yourself organized, or not sure how you really want to move forward in your business, then you need to book a strategy call with us. So we always have free 30-minute strategy sessions. They typically end up an hour, I'll say, because we get to talking and we want to make sure that you can leave with an action plan off of those. So definitely just drop call below if you have not been able to schedule that with us yet. And we'll make sure to get connected to you so you can have that. But then you can always jump into our Rise Your Purpose program. And so we're in the middle of that right now, and you can always be a part of. So anyway, I hope that was beneficial to you guys and that you have an awesome rest of your weekend, and I will talk to you soon. Thanks for joining me on today's episode of Rise to Your Purpose. And so just to give you a little bit of, how did my story evolve and what changes did I see from implementing these strategies? So I went and, like I said, my very first company, I really didn't know what I was doing. Ended up partnering then with one of the companies that I'm with now. And that was in 2014. So I did explode that business, and I was able to go to the top 2% of the company. And I've loved the journey there. And then the Lord has been able to open up other doors and avenues as well within businesses, and was able to recruit 53 people just in this last year alone by following these strategies. And just a little for you to know is because sometimes people tell you, oh, I've recruited hundreds and hundreds of people. So it really just depends on what type of business you're in. A lot of what I do, numbers is not the thing. Like, you don't have to have a lot of recruits. You don't have to have a lot of people in your business in order to earn the income that you want to make. And so it just depends on the company. So I also don't want you to get get stuck in that comparison trap when you hear people talking about numbers, because every business and company is different. And so it really just depends on what is it that you need to hit the income level that you want. And sometimes you will need a lot of numbers. You will need a lot of people. Sometimes it's just you need to focus on a select group of people month after month that will allow you to hit those goals or hit that income level that you're looking at. But, we've been able to get to a place where I was able to find a teaching job that I love, and I'm still teaching, and I plan to keep teaching until we have children, and God puts that on our hearts to start having children. And my husband is full-time, works from home, started his own business, and was able to follow his dream. And so that's what we've been able to do. And now we are in the process of where we're able to use our income, and that we've been diversifying to be able to buy land and start looking at building our dream home. And so I don't want you to think about, okay, well, this person was able to do that, or this person was able to do this. I want you, though, to think about, how can I take these strategies and implement them to make them work for me so that I can go after that vision that God has placed on my heart. So get really clear. What is that vision? Go into a room if you need to, start journaling, praying to the Lord, have him reveal to you what it is that he wants and what you see for your life, and really start working in collaboration and being in rest with your spirit as you go and build your life and build your business. And we want you to know that we are going to be having a workshop on April 11th, and it's going to be all about how you can begin to experience the Lord's blessings and abundance through operating your life and business in a place of rest. And what does that freedom look like? And how can you create success in your business when you're in partnership with him? So we'd love for you to be a part of that exclusive Zoom that we are going to have on April 11th. So save the date, and you need to send us a message. You can go to our Facebook page, Victorious Entrepreneurs Rising, jump into our Purpose Partner community for that, so you can have the updates, and send a personal message saying you want to be a part of that workshop. Just drop wait list, and we will know exactly what you are talking about. So hope you enjoyed today's podcast episode, and I can't wait to see you start just becoming and stepping into that fearless faith influencer and world changer that you are. So we'll see you next time.
Rise Your Purpose will be a weekly podcast. Our hope is to inspire and educate you on your entrepreneurial journey to help you fuel your passions, live your purpose, and build a business that works for you.
You can subscribe, rate, and comment on any podcast app. We'd love to hear from you. It makes us so happy to see you tuning in to the show. So if you're on Instagram, let us know what your favorite part of the show was by taking a screenshot of the episode you tuned into and tag us at Live Victorious on your story. Let us know what your favorite quote or takeaway from the episode was so that we can be inspired to keep creating content like this for you.
To learn more about us and get involved with our community of mission-driven entrepreneurs, join our Facebook group, Purpose Partners, where we partner together in faith and business. So until next time, build a business that works for you and stay in alignment with your mission.